Hey everybody. Hope you guys are having a great evening. I'm going to give it just a minute. I'm trying to make sure it's pulled up on my computer so I can see any comments. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Sorry, my computer's behind my phone screen. Let's see. Okay, great. Well, hopefully some of you are able to jump on. Once you're on live, just say hello so that I know that you are here. And of course, if you have any questions at any time, just feel free to post them in the comments. Hopefully I'm going to be able to view those. It's been doing pretty good lately. So I do want to first give a disclaimer. Even though I am a medical provider, I'm a nurse practitioner, I'm not a medical doctor. So if you are looking to incorporate something new into your lifestyle, just any kind of medications, then do talk to your medical provider about that. So tonight's topic is on how to maintain a healthy weight. And this is the last topic in our series of our Heart Healthy series, I should say. And February is Heart Awareness Month. So I wanted to include 4 things that I thought was super important to heart health. The first week we talked about blood pressure. The second week we talked about cholesterol. Last week was blood sugar. And then this week is maintaining a healthy weight. So why even care? Let's just start with that question. Why would you even care what your actual weight is? Well, there's a couple of reasons. So number one, other than, if you have a certain goal for physical appearance, for, the way that you want to look or the certain, size that you want to be or whatnot, other than that, why would you even care, right? Well, being overweight or obese is linked to lots of different health conditions, right? So obesity is linked to heart disease, to high blood pressure, to diabetes, to certain cancers. It's also linked to the development of gallstones. I don't know if you knew that or not, but so just a host of medical problems that can occur if we don't maintain a healthy weight. Not to mention the fact that we want to feel the best that we possibly can, right? The heavier we are, then it puts an impact on our joints, and we just can't get out and live a really vibrant life as maybe we could if we were at a healthier body weight. So to me, those are really the most important reasons to maintain a healthy weight. Now, you might be asking yourself, what is an actual healthy weight? Sometimes people will say, what's a healthy weight for me? It really should be based on something called your BMI, your body mass index. And the reason is that is an estimation of what an average, hey Cindy, what a good average weight is for your height. Okay, so it's based on height. And so what you want to do is you can just Google this. You can Google BMI, body mass index calculator. And then you'll just plug in your height and your current weight, and it will tell you what your BMI is. Now, normal BMI, and most of the calculators will have the normal range there, so you don't have to remember this, but normal BMI is between 18.5 and 24.9. That's like the cutoff. 25 and above, if you calculate your BMI and it's 25 and above, then you're overweight, you're too heavy, so you need to kind of look at what you can do to modify some things in your life to get at a healthy weight so that you can prevent some of those medical conditions that I just talked about. And so what I want to talk about now is how you can do that. And I kind of outlined this. I kind of wrote some things down on a sheet of paper as I was thinking about this class and outlined what I believe 5 key areas that impact your weight are and how we can make changes and shifts in those areas to get at a healthier weight. Okay, so number 1, as you can probably imagine, is diet, right? And I don't mean a diet. I mean what your diet consists of, what you consume on a daily basis. I do not believe in diets, so to speak, because they never work. No one ever really sticks with this. Tina says, I'm on, but you will not play. I'm going to keep trying. Maybe it's your Wi-Fi connection. If you can hear me, see me with no delay, just say hey or thumbs up or something like that, just so I know. I don't think it's my connection because I can see it on my computer as well, but you'll be able to watch the recording back if there are any issues. Sorry about that. So the biggest thing with diet is the things that we consume, like processed foods, okay? And I know that I've said this lots of different times, but really processed foods have no nutritional value. Most of them have zero nutritional value. So when our bodies are not getting the nutrition, I always turn my Wi-Fi off, Krista, because otherwise it doesn't work. So good point. But if our bodies are not getting the nutrition that they need, then our bodies are going to constantly be telling us, eat more, eat more, eat more. I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, because we're not satisfying those nutritional needs of our body. So that's why you want to really stay away from the processed foods and consume more whole foods that do have those vitamins and minerals and protein, fiber, those kind of things, so that you can get the nutrients that your body needs. That will also help you eliminate the toxins, because remember, the toxins that we are putting into our body are really coming from those processed foods, whether it's something that you bought that was, packaged at the grocery store, or you went through a drive-through, and got something for lunch or dinner. But I want to explain to you for just a minute what toxins do when they get into our body. So when you consume a food, or actually not a food, a chemical or a toxin that your body does not recognize, then your body actually has this cool protective mechanism. In order to protect your vital organs, your body creates a fat capsule around the toxin and stores it. Okay, it says, okay, well, we're not going to let this chemical or toxin that we don't recognize, that's foreign, that we don't know how to process, do any harm to our organs. So your body creates a fat capsule and stores it. So that is honestly one of the reasons that people are overweight. A lot of times people think, I see this all the time in my clinical practice. Patients come in and they say, they're extremely overweight, and they say, I only eat 1 meal a day, or I only eat 2 meals a day. I barely eat anything. I'm not hungry. And the reason for that is, number one, they're eating processed foods that are just full of chemicals and toxins, number one. Number two, what can happen is you can consume too few calories, actually, where your body thinks that it's in starvation mode. So then it doesn't burn any calories. It just holds on to everything that you put in it, because it thinks, well, I don't know when, she or he's going to feed me again. So it just holds on to all of those calories. So that's why it's super important, to have not only a good balance of whole foods, but also to eliminate those toxins. Now, I firmly believe that a detox is, if somebody is really looking to make some serious changes and move into a healthier lifestyle in the way of diet, then I really believe that detoxing first is a great way to do that. Now, I don't mean, taking some kind of, crazy pill or drinking some kind of crazy liquid. I just mean eliminating all toxins and just going through a whole foods detox or cleanse. And many of you that are on tonight have done the detox that we have developed, and we are actually going to run that again in April. It's a guided detox that we'll do again in a private Facebook group, kind of like a support group, that was really great. We did it in January, and it was a lot of fun, and I think that the feedback that I got was people really saw what effect some of the processed foods and chemicals and toxins were having on their bodies. So just consider that if you're really looking to make some serious changes. Consider, starting going through a detox where, again, you're eliminating all toxins and you're just going through a whole foods detox, because that really kind of sets you off on the right path. And then you'll begin to notice that if and when you do consume some foods that aren't so good for you, that have, some not so healthy ingredients in them, you really see how your body responds to them. And from doing this over time, over years' time, I can really tell when I consume anything that's not a whole food and has, some unhealthy ingredients in it. I just feel terrible. And the nice thing about that is, it makes me not want to do it anymore. It makes me want to stay away from those foods. So it's really not only shifts, the way that your body feels, it's a mind shift as well. So I just wanted to point that out. Now, when we're talking about also things in diet that you want to consume more of, something that can really help you to maintain a healthy weight and to kind of stay fuller longer is to incorporate more fiber, right? The recommendation is about 30 to 40 grams is really a good amount of fiber for you to consume daily. And again, go to one of those trackers like MyFitnessPal, and you'll see if you just track your food for 1 to 2 weeks, you'll be able to see exactly what your nutritional profile is and how much fiber you're consuming. You want to look at also protein, healthy fats, carbs. It's important to have a good balance of all of those things. I don't really look at calories as much. You want to look at more of those nutrients and see kind of where you're at and where you can make some small shifts and adjustments to to have a good balance. But increasing the fiber, foods that have more fiber in them are things like avocado. Avocado is such an awesome food. I actually did a video on this talking about what all the benefits were, and that we know that avocado is a superfood. It has lots of healthy fats in it, but it also, people don't know, has a lot of fiber in it. Pears, berries, coconut, Brussels sprouts are good for fiber. Beans, kidney beans, black beans, chickpeas, lentils, chia seeds, flax seeds. Other grains like gluten-free grains like quinoa are really good at having high amounts of fiber and making you feel more satisfied and filling up on those good nutrients so that you're not hungry all the time. So consider, incorporating some of those things. Now, the next thing that I wanted to talk about is I wanted to give you a couple of tips on things that you can look at modifying in your diet, so to speak. So, keeping healthy snacks around. If you don't have something healthy to grab, then what are you going to do? You're going to grab something that's not healthy, right? So keeping things like nuts, cut up your fruits and vegetables at the beginning of the week. Keep them in little snack bags so that you can just pull them out, take them to work with you, or pull them out when you're in the house. Are you sure it's not just the sound? Oh, sorry. Okay. Thank you, Anne. I guess you're trying to help somebody. Hopefully the rest of you can hear me. But keeping healthy snacks on hand is super important. I know that when I go grocery shopping, I can avoid buying something because I know that if I don't avoid buying it and I bring it home, then I'm going to eat it. So when you go to the grocery store, that's kind of the next tip. When you go to the grocery store, number one, don't go hungry, right? Whether that means that you just need to drink, 1 or 2 really big full glasses of water before you go in there so that you're not really hungry. Maybe get yourself a smoothie before you go, or make yourself a smoothie before you go grocery shopping. But if you go hungry, you're much more likely to make some bad choices, right? The next thing is meal planning. I firmly believe meal planning is huge because, what's the saying? If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail, right? So really having a good plan set forth for the week ahead is going to help avoid going through the drive-through. If you know that you have to work late or your kids are going to have a practice really late, plan for that. Make extra of a meal the night before and have it for leftovers, or, make 2 meals one night and that way you're not, running through the drive-through or when you're starving, because if you wait until you're super hungry, then that's when you're going to make the bad choices. Another thing that I always do, and I've had people laugh at this before, but I never, ever, mark my words, never go anywhere without food. Like, I have food with me at all times. And I mean, nuts, fruit like a banana, an apple, an orange, maybe some type of, healthy bar. I don't eat a lot of those, but just for on the go, it really, really helps and prevents you from having to go into a gas station and get something, having to stop through a drive-through. If you just carry things like that in the car or in your purse, then you're going to be able to grab them. And I carry stuff like that for the kids too. If I know that, we're going on a trip somewhere, or I'm going to have a whole bag of snacks, healthy snacks, because otherwise what's going to happen 30 minutes into the ride, they're going to say they're hungry, right? So just plan for that and you'll be successful. The next thing is try and make just some simple swaps. Think of it, don't overwhelm yourself with thinking that you have to do everything at once. Start with one thing. Like, maybe your goal for next week would be, we are not going to eat out but once at dinner. Maybe it's going to be, I'm not going to go through the drive-through for breakfast. I'm going to pack a healthy breakfast. Whatever it is, start with one thing, and then, the next week, build on that. And after a few weeks and months time, you'll notice that you've made these small changes and you're starting to feel better. Maybe if you wanted to lose weight, then having some results there. But I really feel that making the small changes and shifts in that direction is what really leads to long-lasting results. And then the last tip for just modifying things in your diet is, you probably have heard this before, but downsize your plate, right? If you have a ginormous plate, then you're going to want to put lots of food on that plate, right? So a lot of it's about portion control. And even though I eat, fairly healthy, I do like to eat a lot. So, you can't eat too much of healthy, everything's got to be in moderation, right? So try to downsize your plate. So if I have a smaller plate, then when I kind of load that plate up, I'm going to feel super satisfied, because you eat with your eyes first. If something doesn't look appetizing and doesn't look like you're getting enough, then you're not going to feel satisfied. So just try that. Try to kind of downsize your plate, and that, I think, does really help. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about, as I go through these 5 key areas, at the end of each one, I'm going to talk about a couple of essential oils that you can incorporate that can help you in these specific areas. So the first one, and I want to mention this first, is drinking more water. We talk about this a lot, but it's so important to maintaining a healthy weight is being hydrated. A lot of times when you think you're hungry, it's your body saying that it needs water. It's actually that you're thirsty. And I tell my daughter this all the time, and she doesn't believe me. But anyway, make yourself drink more water. Half of your body weight in ounces per day is recommended. Don't really go by the 8 ounces a day, 8 to 10, or not ounces, sorry, glasses. A lot of people will say drink 8 to 10 glasses of water a day. Really, you should base it more on your size, okay? So if you're 150 pounds, then you want to consume 75 ounces of water a day. So now a lot of people come and tell me, well, I don't really like water, okay? So you've got to flavor it somehow, right? To make yourself want it and want to drink it. So the couple of things that I like to do are, I like to use, and I kind of mix these up, And I want to tell you the benefit to each one. The first one is lemon essential oil. I mean, lemon, most people like the flavor of lemon. Now, this is not an acidic taste like a squeezed lemon can be. It just doesn't have that acidity to it, but it's delicious. I use 2 drops of this lemon in, this is a 25-ounce container. You want to make sure that it is stainless steel or glass. And also I want to mention, for those of you who have not used essential oils or aren't familiar with essential oils, doTERRA is the only brand that is safe to ingest. So make sure that you're not buying essential oils over the counter, at the health food store and ingesting those, because most of those have synthetics in them. Okay, so these are certified pure therapeutic grade, and it's because doTERRA, because of the way that they source their oils and test them. They extensively test them to make sure there are no pesticides, chemicals, residue added to them. So one of the benefits to lemon is lemon helps to break down those fat capsules that we talked about. You know how I mentioned a minute ago that what your body does when it encounters a toxin that you've ingested is it's foreign, and it basically creates a fat capsule around that toxin and stores it. What the lemon does is it helps our body break down those fat capsules and then eliminate it. Okay, through the urine. It usually goes through the kidneys. So that is one huge benefit to lemon. Now, the next one that I like to do, and I mix these up throughout the day. My next favorite is grapefruit. Grapefruit is, again, it does not taste like the actual meat of the fruit, which can be a little bit sour. This is very light and fruity, and it's delicious. I actually tasted, somebody tasted it the other day and said it tasted like cotton candy. But anyway, grapefruit is really excellent for sugar cravings. So if you are someone, I struggle with this. So if you are someone like me who has kind of like a sweet tooth, who, I love sweets. I love chocolate. Grapefruit really does help to curb those sugar cravings. The other nice thing about grapefruit is it has diuretic properties, meaning that it helps your body get rid of salt and water. And that helps with weight management and maintaining a healthy weight. So that's another added benefit to grapefruit. And then the last one that I love to drink in my water is called the Metabolic Blend. It's also called Slim and Sassy, but it's the Metabolic Blend. Now this one has some of those oils in it. It has lemon, it has grapefruit, it also has peppermint, ginger, and cinnamon. It has those 5 oils in it. And what I probably taste the most is the peppermint, probably. It's just a very light, minty, but fruity flavor to your water. This one, again, it's the Metabolic Blend, and what it does is it helps to naturally increase your metabolism. So obviously, increased metabolism means burn more calories, and if weight loss is your goal, then you have an added benefit there, right? So I love to add that. Does the grapefruit affect your potassium level or just the sodium? The only way that it would affect your potassium level is if you were to have a lot of diuresis, meaning if you urinated a lot. That's how you can lose a lot of potassium. But no, just drinking it in your water, no, it would not have that effect. Anne, good question. So those are my 3 kind of favorite to flavor my water. I want to mention one more thing. The Slim and Sassy is excellent if you make like a chocolate smoothie and you put a drop of that in there, because it has that minty flavor. It's kind of like a chocolate mint smoothie. So that's another way that I love to use it. Okay, the next key area that impacts your weight is exercise. Okay, and that's the one that probably most people don't like to talk about because they don't like to do it. And I'll be honest, I don't love exercise. Now, I love the way it makes me feel after I do it. And I've said this before, I guarantee there is not, maybe there's one person on the planet that said, I wish I wouldn't have done that workout, right? Nobody ever says that, because you feel so much better after you exercise. So the key is, getting the motivation and kind of making yourself do that, right? And I'll talk about something that's motivating in just a minute to help with that. But not only lack of exercise that leads to an unhealthy body weight, but the wrong kind of exercise. Often people are just not exercising properly. Now, what I mean by that is I see people a lot. Yes, Cindy, I always feel so much better after I exercise. I see people a lot who say, you know, I walk 30 minutes a day, or I get on my elliptical for an hour a day. I can't lose any weight. I'm at the same weight. I'm gaining weight. You know, whatever the case may be, they're just not meeting their goals. And most of the time, it's because they're doing the wrong type of exercise. Not that cardiovascular exercise like walking or elliptical or running is not super important and should be a part of, you know, a regular exercise regimen. But what you also have to realize is you need to look at doing more strength training and building muscle. Now, a lot of people, especially women, don't really want to do strength training because they think that, you know, their muscles are going to get big and bulky. It's not going to happen. I mean, it's not going to happen unless you're, you know, taking some kind of supplement and, you know, lifting super heavy weights every day. I do strength training multiple days throughout the week, and I don't mean heavy weights. I mean, you know, medium, I would say. And I'm certainly not bulky. What it does is strength training just helps you have more muscle mass in the way that it helps you look and your muscles be leaner, okay? And when you build more muscle mass, not that you're seeing it bulky, but you're building more muscle mass, you know, underneath here, what that does is it helps your body burn more calories, right? Muscle weighs more than fat and it burns more calories. So that's why strength training is really important for everyone, no matter what, you know, your age is. And you can even use things like just your own body weight. For instance, like if you wanted to do like push-ups or something like that, then that would be great. In addition to some of your, you know, cardiovascular stuff. I think that when people start doing that, they really do see changes and results. And that kind of brings me to another point. People get on the scale sometimes way too much, and they worry about what number they see on the scale versus the way that they feel and the size of their clothes. Those are probably the two of the biggest indicators, you know, as to you know, are you maintaining a healthy weight, or are you moving in the right direction? If you've started incorporating healthier eating habits and exercise, don't worry so much initially about the scale, because what happens, especially when you're doing strength training, is, yep, throw it away, Krista, I agree. What happens when you're doing strength training is you're building muscle, which, like I said, weighs more than fat, right? So you may see the weight go up a little bit, but you're actually just getting leaner and losing that fat and replacing it with muscle. So don't get too caught up in numbers on the scale. Maybe weigh once a week. You know, not every day, not jumping up and getting on the scale every day. I would not recommend that. The next thing is, you know, sometimes people will say, well, I just don't have the time to exercise, right? I don't have 30 to 45 minutes. The recommendation is 30 to 45 minutes on most or all days of the week, okay? 5 to 7 days. And again, most people truly don't have that time to carve out, but I bet you have 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at lunch, 10 minutes in the evening. And actually research has shown that those bursts of exercise, you know, kind of doing something like going for a very brisk walk or a 10-minute jog, or even just in your kitchen doing jumping jacks and jump rope for, you know, pretend jump rope for 10 minutes is as effective as those 30 to 45 minute blocks. So don't think that just because you know, can't carve out the time, that length of time, that you can't get benefit from doing those bursts of exercise. So don't find that as your excuse. And the other thing is, you know, I see people a lot of times that will tell me that, well, I travel a lot, you know, that's super inconvenient. Well, If you're staying in a hotel, most all hotels have a gym, right? If it's nice weather, you can go for a walk or a jog. You could swim at the pool. One of my favorite things to do, I do it even when I'm not traveling, is there are so many great apps, free apps for your phone. Like Nike makes an app called Nike Run Fit, and it actually has, it's not just for running, it actually has different workouts that you could do that are beginner level, intermediate, and advanced. And you can choose your workout, and it times you, and it shows you the moves to go through. I mean, super easy. Some people will say, I don't have the money to go to a gym. You don't need a gym. I mean, you can do something like that at home. One of my favorite things to do is get a exercise or workout DVD and do different workouts throughout the week. And that's what really is key to maintaining a healthy weight in the exercise realm, is mixing it up. You want to always have your body guessing, right? If you are doing the exact, like I mentioned in the beginning, if you were doing the exact same thing, the same 30-minute walk, the same 30 minutes on the elliptical every day, then your body is becoming accustomed to that, and you don't see the results that you could see if you were mixing it up and doing something different, incorporating some strength training, trying a new exercise, working different muscle groups. So think about that. Think about kind of mixing up what you're doing, because I think you'll really see results. Now, the essential oil that I want to mention here that I use before I exercise, and sometimes afterwards as well, is peppermint. Peppermint is amazing for so many things, but peppermint is really invigorating, and it kind of wakes you up. It is also used a lot for focus. So if you are, really trying to, go and get a workout in, and you want to be focused and just have some energy. Yeah, Krista, I've been on their site too and done some of their workouts, blenderfitness.com. They have some great stuff on there. YouTube has some great free workouts that you could just go in on YouTube and type in workout routines, and tons of stuff will pull up that's totally free. So yeah, that's a good point. So peppermint, I like to place a little bit of peppermint on my temples, and then also on the back of my neck. Peppermint, like I said, is very invigorating. It also is very cooling, so it helps to kind of cool you down. So, you're working out, getting hot, then peppermint you'll feel the cooling sensation of the peppermint where you applied it. So that's a nice benefit to that. Peppermint is also very good for achy muscles and joints. So after you exercise, peppermint would be a great one to mix with a carrier oil like coconut oil and rub it on maybe if your knee's bothering you, or your back, or you have a sore shoulder, whatever the case might be. Peppermint, that's another great way to use peppermint with an exercise routine. And then the third area, so number one was diet, number two, exercise. The third key area that impacts your weight and maintaining a healthy weight is stress, right? So, we are constantly under stress. The world that we live in, gosh, just flip on the TV. And that's the main reason that I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't watch the news. I don't, I don't want to fill my mind with any more stress than, that is necessary that I already have. But what does stress do? When you're under stress, it leads to overeating usually. Sometimes it leads to constant grazing throughout the day, constant snacking. Maybe you overload on carbs and sugar because if you're stressed. Sometimes you just want what you consider comfort foods, right? You just want those foods that just aren't really great for you, that aren't really doing anything nutritionally for your body. But what stress also does is it increases cortisol levels. Cortisol levels, when you have high cortisol levels in your body, you have a higher blood sugar, and you also have higher amounts of fat stored. So that's what cortisol does. And chronic stress states, if you're under chronic stress, your cortisol levels are going to be chronically elevated. And again, cortisol is considered the stress hormone. And again, when that happens, your blood sugar can elevate, you can have more fat stored, especially around the abdomen. A lot of people with chronic stress states and high cortisol levels have abdominal obesity. They have fat around their abdomen. So the first thing that I would suggest is try and simplify your routine. Whatever it is that you can do to cut out some areas that you perceive are causing you stress. So like for instance, I'll give you an example. For me, it would be if I have not planned well. So, if I don't have a good plan, whether it's for maybe I'm working from home and it's the plan for things that I need to get done for the day, or maybe it's a plan for dinner or whatnot. If I don't have a well-structured plan, that causes me more stress. And so that's why I have over the years' time become very good at planning things, because I know that that's one way that I can eliminate stress from my life. So whatever that is for you, it's different for everyone. But I want to mention two things that can help with stress and can help you. Essential oils are very good at supporting the body during stressful times and situations, even if it's on a daily basis and chronic stress. One of my favorite essential oils for that particular reason is Balance. This is a blend of oils, and it's called the Grounding Blend. And Balance is it kind of has a sweet, woodsy smell. This one is not for internal use. This one is only for aromatic, so breathing it in, or topical use, applying it to the skin. And in case, again, you're not familiar with essential oils, the way that you know that they can be consumed internally, that doTERRA's can be consumed internally, is they have this label that says supplemental facts on the side. This happens to be wild orange, and it has supplemental facts, so I know that I can consume that one safely internally. But Balance does not have supplemental facts on the bottle. And it actually says for aromatic or topical use only. So this one, Balance, I love to diffuse. It smells really good, and not only can you affect your stress level, bring maybe your stress level down and give you more grounding, you can affect the environment of your whole house or your work area, whatever, without people even knowing it. You're diffusing in that area, and everyone else is getting the benefit of that too. So, and you can actually, if you don't know what a diffuser looks like, I actually have mine going right here. You can see. You can see that. You just put water in, a couple of drops of whatever. Oh, I turned it off. A couple of drops of whatever oil or combination you're using, and then it comes out like a mist, and you can smell it. And it's great. The other one that I like to add to Balance is Wild Orange. Wild Orange and Balance together are really excellent for stress. What I like to do is put a drop of each, unless I'm diffusing it. Another way to use this would be to put a drop of each with a carrier oil, like coconut oil, in your hand, rub it together, and then rub it on your neck. Smells so good. Beth, I love this diffuser. It plugs into the computer. It's so awesome. I love it. So anyway, those are really good there are a lot of other essential oils that you can use, but these are two of my favorites to use to help you manage stress. All right, the fourth area that can really impact your weight is sleep. If you are not getting the proper amount of sleep, 7 to 8 hours for the average person is what you need, then that's going to lead to multiple things. One, unhealthy eating. How do you feel if you're tired? You don't want to make healthy choices. You want to go through the drive-thru and grab something that's not super, number one, nutritious, number two, satisfying. Because when we are putting all of these things in our body that don't, have the nutrients that we need, our body still craves and needs those nutrients. So our body's constantly saying, give me more, feed me more, give me more. And then you just never get satisfied. So the other thing that sleep does is it increases cortisol levels, just like stress. And remember, high cortisol levels are, Michelle says, I missed the second oil for stress. The combination, Michelle, what I said was the combination of balance and wild orange. Those are awesome together. So sleep deprivation leads to high cortisol levels, which again causes you to have increased sugar in your bloodstream, and also causes your body to store more fat. So, which is not what we want if we want to maintain that healthy weight. Chronic lack of sleep is linked to things like not only obesity, but also diabetes and high blood pressure. And research actually shows that people who sleep less weigh more. So, they've done research over time and polling people who, you're welcome, who are overweight or obese, and looking at the amount of hours that they sleep. And people who sleep less weigh more. So sleep is super, super important, and so important too for hormone regulation, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute. But the other thing I want to mention about sleep, something that's really interesting to me, when you have less sleep, it affects your appetite hormones, okay? So there are two main appetite hormones. The first one is leptin, and the second one is ghrelin. You might have heard of those before. But leptin is the hormone that tells your body, okay, I'm full, I'm not hungry anymore, I don't need anything else to eat. So most of us want more leptin, right? We want these signals that tell our body, I'm good, I've had enough, I don't need any more. Ghrelin is the opposite. It's the hunger hormone that says, I'm hungry, feed me more, I'm hungry. When you lack sleep or you have sleep deprivation, you have higher levels of ghrelin and lower levels of leptin, which is not what you want. I mean, you want an even balance of both, but you do not want more of those ghrelin levels, because what's happening is your body is constantly saying, I'm hungry, feed me, I'm hungry, because your brain is getting those signals, okay, because you have higher ghrelin levels and lower leptin levels. So that is one key way that sleep can really affect healthy weight. Two things that I have that I want to mention for sleep to help support healthy sleep is, the first one is Serenity. Serenity is a blend. It's called the Restful Blend. This is actually an old bottle. It used to be called the Calming Blend, but they've reformulated it a little bit, and it's called the Restful Blend. And it has things like lavender in it. What I really smell is lavender and vanilla. It smells so good. It also has cedarwood and vetiver in it. Those are all really calming, relaxing oils that are excellent for sleep. So what I like to do is put 2 or 3 drops of Serenity in my diffuser on my bedside table before I go to bed, and that just really helps promote a restful night's sleep. I used to think that I didn't have a problem with sleep, and I really didn't. I would go to sleep, but I would always wake up during the night. When I use this, I'm out until the alarm clock goes off. So really, I mean, diffusing it is the best way, because I used to apply it topically, and when you're talking about sleep oils, it's really best to diffuse them. So that's just a tip in case you are somebody who's using essential oils and you've been applying them topically for sleep, try diffusing them, and I think that you'll see a huge difference. Now, I don't have these in here with me, but doTERRA also makes a Serenity soft gel. So it's actually a pill that you can take to help support healthy sleep as well. I gave the rest of what I had to somebody that was trying them. So I don't have any in here to show you, but those are excellent. I don't personally need to take those every day, because the diffuser does the job for me. But if I'm traveling and I know I'm going to be, in a hotel room, I never sleep as good in a hotel room, I take my diffuser, and then I also take the recommended doses 2 of the Serenity soft gels. I do both. And then that really helps, again, promote a healthy night's sleep. Now the fifth way, or the fifth, key area that impacts your weight is hormone balance, or hormone imbalance, I should say, not having properly balanced hormones. Now, ways that this can happen are, one, of course, it can happen just with age and with changes that occur. But one of the biggest ways that our hormones get imbalanced or unbalanced is from not only the things that we consume, the food that we put in our body, but the toxins that we come in contact with in the environment, that we put on our skin. All of those things, all of those chemicals and toxins, or I should say many of them, act as hormone disruptors. They're actually endocrine disruptors, and they actually can mimic some of our natural hormones like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. And so they're basically messing up our hormone balance because they're mimicking natural hormones. And then the natural hormones can't do the job that they need to. So a couple of things that you can do. Obviously, clean eating, whole foods, eliminating the processed foods. But another thing that a lot of times people don't really realize that it hugely affects us in this area are, like I said, the things we put on our skin, our health, beauty products, whether it's, facial products, hair care, lotion, soap, any of that. And there is if you ever wanted to know the products that you have, how clean they are, there is a site called the EWG, the Environmental Working Group. You can actually go onto that site, and some of the main brands, they have a rating for how clean they are. Or if they don't have the particular brand that you have, you can actually type in the ingredients in, say, your lotion, and then it'll give you a scoring of how clean that particular lotion is, as far as how green it is and how clean it is, basically. And then the other thing that I think a lot of people don't realize is the things that we're exposed to in the environment. Did you know that your home is actually the most toxic environment that you come in contact with daily? And it is because of the things that we bring into our home, into the space. It's things like plug-ins, candles, cleaners that we're constantly spraying, and cleaning with. All of those things are loaded with chemicals, toxins, and those things, again, cause that hormone imbalance. Next month, I wanted to give you guys a heads up. Next month in March, we are going to be doing 2 classes on greening up your life. And one of them is going to be on how to replace some of your cleaning products and products in your home and environment with things that are healthier and don't have the chemicals and toxins. And then the second class is going to be on how to clean up your beauty regimen. So not just talking about facial care, but also lotion, hair care, soap, that kind of thing. Some steps that you can take to kind of shift that in the right direction. So just heads up, be on the lookout for that. We'll be doing that in March. Now, the things that I want to mention to you that you can actually help support a healthy hormone balance are doTERRA offers 3 products that I use on a daily basis and absolutely love. The first one, and these 3 actually come as a little bundle. They'll sell these as a bundle together. The first one is called Clary Calm, and this one is a blend of oils that, again, is good for hormonal balance and getting your hormones just back into balance. It comes in this little convenient roller, and what I like to do is just roll it on my lower abdomen at night before I go to bed, and it really helps. It kind of smells a little bit flowery and sweet. It smells really good, but I like to use that at night. The other thing that I take every day, and these are actually good for men and women, is, first of all, let me show you the first one, is called phytoestrogen. Now, phyto just means plant. So this is a plant-based form of estrogen. And this is basically an adaptogenic form of estrogen. Now, what that means is it doesn't matter if you have high estrogen levels or low estrogen levels. this helps to bring them back into balance. Okay, so you don't have to know if your levels are high or low. This is just going to help bring them back into balance. It has something in it called genistein. That's the main component, okay? And it is basically a plant extract that has been shown to help prevent prostate, ovarian, and breast cancer. How awesome is that? So this is not only good for, again, hormone balance, but also prevention of those types of cancer. So again, good for men and women. And then what I like to take with that is doTERRA's bone and mineral nutrient. So this is basically just to help promote strong, healthy bones and have a good foundation of healthy bones, because we know what happens as we age, we lose bone mass. And that's why, a lot of older people, especially women, have more fractured bones, right? So this just helps to support healthy, strong bones. So the three of those come together in a little pack. And that is my favorite way to kind of, again, help maintain that even, nice hormone balance. Excess estrogen is actually a risk factor for obesity, and so is low testosterone. So having low testosterone or high estrogen are risk factors for being overweight. So again, super important to keep those in balance. And those are the 5 key areas. So diet, exercise, stress, sleep, and then hormone balance. Those are the 5 biggest things that you can do and the ways that you can make modifications to, to maintain a healthy weight. I just want to mention lastly, if you have any questions, of course, type them in the comments and I can come back and answer them as well. And if you are watching the replay, certainly leave your comments and I'll answer those. But if you are new to essential oils, if you have not used essential oils before and you are looking to get started, then we would love to help you. So give me, send me a message and I'll be happy to help you get started. So anyway, I hope this was helpful to you guys. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll answer those. I hope you guys have a great night and look out for those classes that I mentioned in March. See you soon. Bye.